I recorded a video like this yesterday, and it ended up being pretty shit. I can't lie. I was editing it, and there's too many parts where I was pausing or I was stuttering a little bit. There's also I tend to do this in my video a lot. I tend to just like get shit wrong. I just kind of just get stuff mixed up. It's kind of been a problem with me. Maybe that's like part of my secret hidden mental disability or whatever, where I tend to get mixed up things with random ass shit, and it just ends up being a bit annoying. It's like I'm just saying wrong shit. Like I would put in the subtitles, oh yeah, I meant this, but like I just kind of want to record videos where I don't get stuff mixed up, so I'm not like bullshitting. And I also thought I was only in this video I'm gonna be talking about Splinter and Karai, and they're both tragic characters in Ninja Turtles, and I recorded a video as well, and but then I just kind of like there was too many pauses. I already video like a couple minutes ago as well, but there's like too many parts where I was pausing or whatever. And I kind of thought like I had a list of I have a list of Splinter and Karai written down on my phone, and they kind of just seem like they're both kind of similar tragic characters, ignoring the fact that they're both daughter and father and they're both part of the same family. Let's just forget about that. But they're both like in terms of like tragic characters, kind of like similar and a little bit different in some ways and stuff that happened to them. And I also done a video like that with Pennywise and Cartoon Cat where I compared them to. So I just kind of thought make a video like that, because in the last video yesterday I was only talking about Karai, and this one I'm going to be talking about her and her dad. Now, out of all the characters in Ninja Turtles, there's Ninja Turtles has like a bunch of different characters with a bunch of different lore, some complex, some a bit shit, some a bit two-dimensional. With Splinter and Karai, they might be two of the most tragic characters in the whole show. Maybe even Karai more, I'm willing to bet. But like they're both super tragic, and they both like been through so much more shit. So like with Splinter, he was just chilling with his day one. He was just doing martial arts with him, beating the shit of each other, training to beat the shit out of other random people. And they were training under this one's dad, her name is Shang-Chi or whatever. And they were training on her dad, and they're basically like they were so tight. They had like a tight friendship, tight buttholes, and they considered themselves brothers, even though they didn't pop out the same mother. So it's like they're that close, had that close of a bond. They used to train under the Shang-Chi's father, and Shang-Chi, she ended up fancying Splinter. She wanted him more, and that actually kind of rubbed up Shredder the wrong way, whose name is Oroku Saki. Shredder's some badass name as well, by the way. He looks like a Shredder. He looks like he just shreds you up by just running into you. Like the amount of fucking blades on him. He's like a human knife holder. And he ended up getting a little bit jealous. So one day he decided to, pay his brother a visit, have a nice calm chat about her, be like, yo, so can you not go out with that wife? I kind of want her more. Sound. Instead, he actually came over to the gaff. He ended up fighting him over the wife, and I'm not sure if he done this on purpose, but that's how Splinter remembers it in the flashback. They're like fighting, and he knocks over like a lantern or some candle or whatever. Starts setting the whole place ablaze. He's committing multiple crimes at this point: arson and assault and breaking and entering. And not only that, he leaves his brother to get burnt and turned into Freddy Krueger in the gaff. By the way, he leaves his brother to get melted. He kills the wife. I think the wife died. I think he might have accidentally killed her because he wanted her as well. But so what sense would it make to kill your wife, kill the girl that you want? You're just gonna be going out with a dead corpse. And he robbed Splinter's daughter, who was Miwa, who's Karai. Karai's real name is Miwa. So he ended up nicking Miwa from a Splinter, as if you just an aggressive way of collecting your child from babysitting. So Splinter lost everything as a human, and then one day he was walking through New York City, and then you could some average New Yorkers who looked like skinwalkers. They're basically the Krang. They had some weird ass head shape, and they're doing some strange. They're going into the alleyway. Kind of looked like they're smuggling drugs back to a hideout or whatever. So Splinter, he followed them into the alleyway. They spotted him. They started immediately shooting at him with purple, laser guns. So I think he did manage to defeat the Krang, but amidst the fighting, the kind of alien slime got all over him, the mutagen. It ended up transforming him into a permanent furry, a big humanoid rat. And he had a little tank of 4 turtles, and it ended up changing them. Ended up giving them personalities. They ended up gaining the ability to speak English from the mutagen. They ended up basically becoming humanoid turtles and a rat, living in a stinky, poopy land in the sewers below, because if a human saw them, they'd run the fuck away, because what is that, bro? If it's not a costume, are you some failed experiment? So that ended up sucking for Shredder. But something I'd like to know as well, something compared to how him and Karai got mutated, Splinter, he lost another family, but then life kind of just gave him another family back. It's like kind of pain. It was like, you have something missing. Yeah, here you go. Here's like a second chance at life, even though it wasn't Splinter's fault the first time. It's just kind of out of control. But it's like he has a second chance, raise a family now. And he actually has like some, experience with this shit. He'd be more cautious around his family. So that's like a plus to him being fucked over in life. He got something in life after being fucked. He got like, four sons, so he wasn't living alone. He wasn't constantly sad and despair. He could, be happy that he had four other children. He could train them and shit. He can like train him, even raise him maybe better than he raised Karai. But with Karai, on the other hand, her mutation was just, just straight get fucked. You have no happiness in your life. It's just full of misery, because she was already, as a human, as soon as she started to turn against the Shredder, she found out that the Shredder was not truly her dad. She was like some distant uncle that, she would like, stay with. She was filled with lies up until that point, saying that like Splinter is lying, Splinter is evil, Splinter's this and that. It's basically Palpatine with like, I don't know, Vader or Grievous. It was pretty evil and some fucked up shit. So when she tried to, go against Shredder, he ended up disciplining her, grounding her, and by shoving her in a cage. And then later on, after she got rescued and came back to, kind of finish the job, she thought she was going to do something to her dad. Even though her dad was the martial artist demon who ended up basically giving her entire, like, moveset. He just, like, it's like he can read her mind. He has the whole, like, moveset. He has a whole cheat code unlocked, beating you. And it actually was like that. He was dodging every one of her moves. So then after he basically just, disciplined her for a bit by beating her at her own game, or by like beating her in a fight. He had her caged up like his animal or a slave or someone that was going to be executed above like this big ass tank of mutagen, and he had Baxter Stockman to like kind of synthesize the mutagen to kind of turn her into a serpent. She's going to turn into a little snaky woman. She's going to turn into like Medusa's, I don't know, daughter or whatever. But the whole plan with that was that he was going to have her hanging above the cage, just to have as bait as turtles. That's a bit retarded, because first of all, number one, why would you not just like kidnap her? Because wouldn't the turtles come save her anyway? It's like, oh yeah, no, we're not gonna save you, Karai, unless you're in immediate danger. You'll be grand. Your dad. You've lived with him. I'm sure you can catch up and all. But when she is in immediate danger, they will come save her. They will come save her anyway. So there's no point in that. Actually, there was a point. I'm just a retard. I just fucked up my own logic on there. The whole plan was that he's gonna turn the four turtles into serpent. Into serpent fuckheads, and have them, and then have like Splinter watch that happen. So yeah, he wanted to actually visually torture Splinter by making his sons undergo a completely different new transformation. But when the turtles do come save her, Leo's about to save Karai. I don't know how he would have saved Karai without having to chop the chain off and send her into like the death pool of disfigurement. But Shredder, he, for some reason, thought it'd be a good idea to hop up on the cage, try to decapitate Leo, and just slash the chain, and that's how Karai got mutated. And then after Karai got mutated, it was all over. All hopes of like getting her back. Splinter literally just got her back into the family, and then he lost her again. That's like twice in one lifetime, mate. That must fucking suck. That must be like getting a sledgehammer in the stomach or some shit. Because, like, damn, you just have to feel bad for Bo. He lost his family, 2 times in a row. That's some stroke of unluckiness. And then Shredder also loses her after losing her again. It's like they both are going nil for losing their both daughters. They're both fighting over who gets to keep the child. So she slithers away. She ends up hating everyone. She spits in Raph's eyes. She swings away. She fucks off. At the end of the episode, she gets recaptured again. And then towards the other arc, yeah, she gets like a brain worm put into her, and the amount of stuff that she does as well, when she's evil, is pretty evil, mate. So like in the first episode when she was controlled, she poisoned everyone in the group, and she had Leo and Donnie had to come save their asses, and the only reason they're being able saved is because Leo, he had to actually lock in. He's like doing this mantra thing or whatever, and he's able to lock in for a bit to like kind of put a block on the poison. It's kind of like put a cork on the tube that has poison going up. It's like, stop it for a bit, and he's able to save the whole group. And that was only because of Leo. And then Karai also tortured all the 4 turtles, putting Raph in an oven, Mikey getting shot on by mutagen under a big massive ass toilet that a giant we used. Donnie was getting this big dish thing on this brain. Dr. Brainiac helmet on his head, and he's playing like Tetris, but in real life, he's like an actual person in the game, and every time he got crushed, he got electrocuted. Raphael was being turned into like, Thanksgiving dinner inside of basically an oven. He's basically cooked alive. He's quite literally cooked. So then Leo, he was going up against like a shred ball. This ball like had like a lot of swords attached to it, and he'd be like slashing and slashing, getting like down lower and lower. Donnie, actually, the way Leo actually said it was pretty smart. He had like the ball. He was like going underneath it. He had the ball basically cut out a little circle in the floor so he get pushed into Raph's room, and he ended up pushing out the bricks. They ended up saving Mikey, and they all basically ended up saving each other. But yeah, that's the type of shit that Karai would do when she was under the spell of Shredder's, a magic worm. That is some fuck shit. He goes through some insane lengths to make sure his daughter cannot go out, cannot like leave him by his side pretty much. It's like such a possessive dad. And then when I'm not gonna lie, that probably wasn't as bad as when Splinter got controlled by Rat King, because when Shredder was controlling Karai, mutating her, actually that was pretty accidental. But when he was controlling her, he's making her do some evil ass shit, and it's like they already got her back. So with Splinter, it's like this is kind of the first time they lost her. Lost him the first time he got controlled by Rat King. He was getting controlled. He's going against the Turtles, and he managed to get out of the spell. I didn't watch that episode. I watched the second one though. I haven't watched the first episode in a while, but I watched the second one today. Where he gets controlled by the Rat King again. It's like, man, he just got out of your spell, and now you're just putting the magic handcuffs around him, just like not letting him free. You're just, you're keeping him on. You're making him your pet. You're just forcefully turning this dude just into your pet rat. And this time it was even more OP. He's like going deeper into his soul. He's just like having his hands up Splinter's ass and just controlling him like so much more better than before. And he actually still managed to defeat Rat King though, pretty smartly by blinding himself pretty much and throwing Rat King off of a cliff. It's like Rat King, changed his mind halfway through trying to kill the rat. It's like, actually, you know what? I might just kill myself a little bit. Why not? So it wasn't as bad as when Splinter was getting controlled. It didn't last as long with Karai. I'd say with Karai, they both it's what's similar is when they were both getting controlled. It's like they both had their minds invaded. Like Rat King had his mind invaded kind of like telepathically. He's still like fucking going inside of his brain, and Karai got like a worm. She literally got like air raped by a worm, like going inside of her brain. So they still like both got their personal spaces invaded, but with Karai, she was so much more eviler. But then again, with Splinter, he was also like trying to stab Leo, and like the only reason Leo got saved is when Mikey just chucked like his cooler at the Rat King, who looks like a ghoulified detective, and that's the only reason Leo didn't get killed there. So yeah, they both got controlled. They both got taken advantage of pretty much. They both just got like used as the weapons. It's like when Splinter, as soon as he got turned into a rat, he just wasn't seen as human anymore. Even like Shredder was just like, right, so you're just a little pitiful rat, And it's like they were both close friends, but it's like if Shredder just didn't like this guy at all. He was just like cosplaying as his friend his whole life, because when Splinter was fighting Shredder, Shredder ended up winning. He ended up coming back out of the boogeyman like an aggressive Michael Myers, and ended up just knocking him out. Held like the limp old man, and just had him dangled over like a whirlpool, just some like big massive ass like some drainage pipe where the water was like being sucked in. Fuck's sake, I don't know how to explain it. Where water's like being sucked into, and he just dropped him down a giant drain pipe. He got washed away into like a different section of the sewers, and he only got saved by Karai. But then he ended up being animalistic. And oh wait, did I mention this before? Did I mention he went animalistic and he ended up just getting into a cage? Yeah, I think I did. Well, yeah, it's like even Oroku Saki doesn't even see him as like his best friend or anything. But I will say with Karai as well, she was being controlled, but then at the end of her arc, she did end up having a more happy ending. But she also ended up being put in hospital later on, because I'm very sure she got clapped by her dad. His dad turned into like a big giant angry meatball and just like destroyed her. And then she just got put in a hospital for the rest of the season. But she wasn't controlled for the whole show, which even though she had like a lot of shit come to her life and all, she ended up kind of getting victory towards the end. Anyway, with like her new family and shit. So I kind of it worked out for Splinter and Karai. But shit, that still doesn't, they still had like some tragic passage shit. And yeah, I just wanted to make a video where I just talk about these two characters because, yeah, I think they're pretty cool and interesting. And they you kind of have to feel sorry for them if you've seen the show. But see you later.